Hey y'all, how you doing today? Hi. So, since she's very tired, I thought that it would be the perfect time to kind of go through the first little bit of our lives together. Like when we met and when I proposed to her. So, and we'll see what kind of reactions we get out of her. So basically, when we first met, you were 15?
Oh, first met.
Right. You were like 15, almost 16, I think.
Sure.
Something like that. It was 15, almost 16. And so, I am 20. Yeah, so you would have been just turned 16 because I was 20 at the time. So, I'm coming in not to talk to Monica or be near Monica. I don't even know she exists or anything about her family. I had just come into town and was meeting up or trying to do a surprise visit on one of my friends who was visiting her oldest brother. So I kind of knock on the door and I'm like, and Monica answers the door, which apparently she never really did. Now she's not even paying attention, that way she won't go red. So she, as far as I knew, or as far as I've been told, she never really answered the door for people, unless she knew who it was going to be. So she answers the door, and I ask, is Thomas here? And she tells me, yes, down in the basement. So I'm like, well, okay, where's that? How can I go down there? And she's asking me, she's like, so what's your name? Where are you from? What are you doing here? Why are you visiting? On and on and on, asking all these questions and not even really giving a chance for an answer, and just talking wild, like a teenage girl. And she follows me all the way down to the basement, all the way into Ralph's room, and which is her oldest brother. And all the way time, she's sitting there asking me these random questions and all these different things, and just on and on and on with these questions. And so I'm sitting there trying to kind of talk and meet Ralph for the first time and say, hey, Thomas, I'm in town, wanted to say hi, and going over these things. And she's just still talking and just is interrupting her brother. And let me turn the camera here a little bit more. Interrupting her brother and interrupting everything that anyone is trying to say to try and get me to answer these questions. And so we were, I don't know how long we were at the house. I was at the house for a while. And then Thomas didn't have a ride. He usually waited for either his mom or her mom or someone like that to take him home. And so finally, they were done playing. Thomas asked if I could take him home, and I said, okay, sure. And she's still following me around, still asking me all these questions, and just not leaving me alone. I get into the car with Thomas, and Thomas goes, I've been dating her older sister now for 2 years, I believe it was. And I've never heard her say more than 5 words total before that day to him. Would you say that's kind of accurate, or how would you say you remember that day?
I don't really remember it. I remember talking to you, but I can't tell you what I asked or anything.
See, it was so traumatizing. Her first meeting me, she's wiped it from her memory. So I ended up, it was about a year later that we were married, but I wasn't there the full year. I was out and about and doing other things. And somehow, a year later, through little tiny interactions and little tiny things that we did, it came up, hey, I asked her mom, I was like, hey, so I think I want to marry her. And her mom said okay, her dad said okay. And so it was the 4th of July. I come to her. She's 17 and I was 21 at that time. And so 4th of July, she's sitting there, she's mixing Kool-Aid. And I hand her a ring. And so she's sitting there, she's looking at it and everything. And I'm like, I'd like to ask you to marry me. And so she just she's looking at the ring. She doesn't say anything. This is the quietest I've ever heard her at this point. So she's not saying anything to me. She's just sitting there mixing the Kool-Aid, whatever. And so I go, okay, well, I got to get the 4th of July show going, because I did the fireworks show for her family at that time. And so I go out to work on the fireworks show, and she comes out, and I thought I remembered you curling up on a trampoline.
Yeah, they had the trampoline then.
Okay. Because your parents don't have a trampoline now, and so that's why I was curious.
It fell apart.
And so anyway, so she curls up, not saying a word to me, curls up, and from what I can see, falls asleep on the trampoline.
I was thinking.
So I always say that I'm so happy I found someone that when I asked them to marry me, at least they didn't say no. They said, in fact, what's interesting is, I want to say it was a week or two later, and we're heading up from a half hour from where we are to go to an actual store to purchase her wedding ring instead of just her engagement ring, so, and get me my wedding band at the same time. And so we took, and as we're driving up there, she's been kind of clingy, but she hasn't been talking to me anymore. And so as we are on the road up, I'm like, so my parents don't live very far from where we're going. Should I call them and tell them that we're going to get married? And she goes, well, you can call them. So, okay, so is this a yes, we're actually getting married? Or is this a, you're just saying, yes, I could call them? And it kind of got out, well, yes, you can call them. So, okay, so if we're going to call my parents to meet us at the mall so that we can get the rings and everything else, and my parents can finally meet you and everything, I need an actual yes from you, not just a, I can call my parents. And she again goes, well, yes, you can call your parents. But,
I was like, yes!
I know, so that's why I felt like, so, yes, I could call my parents because you are saying yes, or yes, I could call my parents to meet us there. Well, yes. So that's about the strongest yes I got out of her about that. Are you kind of remembering that story any different, or?
Not really different. Less of it. Like, I remember you saying, my mom's gonna meet us, so I need an actual yes or no.
So basically, we didn't have a long, per se, engagement. We went from, like I said, I proposed to her on the 4th of July, and we were married that same year on the 1st of October.
It was almost 3 months.
So, well, that's why I said it wasn't a very long engagement.
No.
It was just shy of a 3-month engagement. So basically, during this time, we are making her dress because her mom made her dress. And at the same time, we're also getting all the plans together, handwriting all the invitations, and getting everything set up. So we had, she had this beautiful modular wedding dress. What I mean by modular is it had no sleeve or short sleeves or full sleeves. It had a long dress and a couple of other pieces that could come off of it. And so it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dress. And so she took and made this dress, and then we made a gorgeous, I thought, cake. So basically, you want to explain the cake, or?
No, go for it.
Like I said, she's tired. So basically, this cake, what we did is we had 3 tiers on the left-hand side, and these 3-tiered cake was kind of a autumn type themed. And then we had on the right-hand side of the 3 cakes, we had another 3-tiered cake, and this one was more spring type themed. So the autumn one had colorful leaves, had pine, had things like that, all edible, all put around it. The spring one had roses and flowers and green leaves and things like that, all put around it. And then in the center was a 5-tier cake, and there was a silver bridge between the 2 cakes to the top of the 5-tier cake. And the 5-tier cake had kind of a mix of the 2. Oh, also, on top of the spring cake, there was a female dancing. And on top of the autumn cake, there was a male just standing there. And then when you got to the center, there was, I think they called it like a Bianca dancing or something like that, or I don't know, we've got it, we could look at it. But it's basically, it was this couple dancing in the center of the cake. And so we had that type of a tier top. And then, like I said, those 5 tiers then were kind of a mix or a spin together of both winter and spring. And that was kind of, that was our wedding cake, because she wanted kind of a spring cake and I wanted kind of an autumn cake. So we merged the ideas and did this huge cake. So it's been now 17 years almost, huh? As she falls asleep. I told you she was tired. So it's been
only a 10-hour work day.
So it's been 17 hours that we've been.
17 hours.
Wow. I apparently am tired too. So it's been 17 years now that we've been together. Of course, ups, downs, everything, but it's been an awesome 7 years. If you want more stories about this, if you want her to try to tell or remember some stories about this, go ahead and leave comments down below, or go ahead and ask us some questions about our marriage that you would like to know, or just random things maybe that you want to know about her or you want to know about me. Anyway, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and you have a wonderful and blessed day, and she's going to go to sleep.